Hey everybody, welcome to the live signing event with the one and only Wanda-Jackson.
Thank you.
Wanda, it is awesome to be here with you today, and I know we're both very excited about your brand new book, Every Night is Saturday Night. My name is Scott B. Bomar. I am Wanda's sidekick, the co-writer of Every Night is Saturday Night, but really my job is just to come alongside this legend, this wonderful woman, and help her tell her great story and such an amazing life, an amazing career, and you have outdone yourself with this great book by sharing your stories and all about your life and your songs, and it's just really been fun to be part of this process with you.
I'm glad of that. You've done a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. A
say.
mutual admiration society.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we are here today to let Wanda sign some books from some of the folks who have ordered them. If you have not yet ordered a book, you can go to wanda-jacksonbook.com and place your order. You can even leave a comment or a question, and we're going to get to some of those questions today as we sit here and talk a little bit about the book, and Wanda will have an opportunity to answer some of the questions that you guys submitted. But before we get into the actual signing, talk a little bit about the book and you know why now? Why tell your story at this point?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest questions they asked me.
Yeah.
First question. And I said, well, I just turned 80. So if I'm ever going to do it, I better do it right now. Well, I've still got a little memory left. It's slipping away.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't think it is, though. From my experience of talking to you, you have great memory for details of your stories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've lived a great life. I've
Yeah.
been so blessed.
Yeah.
And
Well, and I think one thing I've heard you talk about is your life is not one that's ridden with scandals and that kind of drama. Talk about how you view your book and your story and why people sometimes they think, oh, I don't want to write a book because I don't have any wild and crazy things to. But talk a little bit about why you wanted to share your story.
well, as you said, it's a pretty interesting life.
Yeah.
And see, I forgot what you just asked me.
Well, just why you sort of wanted. I think you kind of wanted to be an inspiration to people about how to have your head screwed on straight and be in the music business.
Yeah, I remember telling you the fact that I have never been in jail. I've
Right.
never been in rehab. I never had a divorce. And I am a Christian. And so after I said that, you said, that is your story.
Right.
My husband and I were married 56 years.
Wow, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah. He passed away about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But this was one of his wishes to
Yeah.
get this out. So
Yeah.
I
And he knew it was done. He got to see the.
he was home when we were doing all this.
Yeah, which is great. Well, what we'd love to have you do is to start signing some of these books. Part of the thing that's so cool about this, people love you so much that you're going to have to sign a gazillion books, and we're not going to get them all signed this hour, but we're going to get started.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and start signing some of these, and as you're doing that, I want to talk about some of the folks that have ordered these books, people that have written in and asked some questions, and you can sign and pause if you want to while we go, and we'll talk as you're multitasking here.
I'm not too good at that.
But the first question that was submitted is from Guy Hampson, and he's from Durham, New Hampshire. So we'll say this is Guy's book right here that you're signing right now.
Okay.
But Guy's question is, roots rock music and rockabilly music. It's a genre that has remained popular for years. Do you think rockabilly music will continue to be popular in the future?
I can't see it doing anything but getting more popular.
Yeah.
I really believe that. the kids, I call them kids, but the 30-something-year-old young people that come to my shows, they enjoy it so much. They say, I don't have lights and bubble machines and
right. No smoke and mirrors,
kicking their legs up. And, it's just me out there with the band, and I just sit and tell them some of these stories that are in here.
Right.
And
the power of the music speaks for itself.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right,
it's
and
lasted this long.
I think you're right, and I sure hope you are. I think this music's going to be with us for a long time because it's.
I think
timeless.
These days everyone would like to live in the 50s.
Yeah,
they could slow down.
Yeah.
Things would be not so competitive,
Yeah, simpler time.
I feel sorry for them, so I try to tell them things about
right
in the 50s.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just stack these right over here as you finish them.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's do. Here's a comment from Chris from Stratford, Connecticut. This is not a question, but he just says, "You are the queen of rockabilly." Of course, you knew that. You're the queen of rockabilly. Thanks for all your great tunes.
Oh.
So we'll sign one here.
Nice.
Yeah, this one will be Chris's, and we appreciate the comments. Of course, you've been called the queen of rockabilly for many years now, and it's a well-deserved title, I think.
What little girl doesn't want to be a queen?
Hey, you get to be a queen.
I do.
Similarly, from New York, we have Glenn, another person who purchased your book, and he says, "You are an inspiration."
Really?
Very nice.
I wonder how.
We'll have to leave it to Glenn to answer that one.
Okay.
So we have here a guy named Arnold who wrote in from, looks like Saline, Michigan. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, Saline, Michigan. But Arnold says, "Wanda, my mom grew up in Maud," which of course, Maud, Oklahoma, where Wanda was born. Says, "My grandfather was the minister of the Church of God in town. And she remembers Maud as a busy place in the 1950s. So Arnold asks, what are your memories of Maud from your childhood?
Well, I was born there, but actually my parents didn't stay there very long afterwards. 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then we moved to California, and it's about in that time that I began remembering the old times.
Yeah.
What we did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But in more recent years, Maud has instituted a Wanda-Jackson Day.
Yeah, we did that for about 15 years.
Yeah,
and, that went over good. We gave all the proceeds to the town, city of Maud.
Yeah.
And I got my friends from Nashville to come in and give of their time and talent.
Yeah.
So we had a wonderful little small town day.
Yeah.
We had a little carnival for kids. We had all the food trucks.
Yep.
We had a parade.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
A trophy for those cars, the plastic cars.
Car show. Very cool. Well, while Wanda is signing that book, for those who are interested in Maud, Oklahoma, and Wanda's early years, I can say there's some really cool photos here in the book that Wanda contributed from her personal collection, some where she's just a tiny little kid standing on the back of her dad's delivery truck back in Maud, Oklahoma, back before she can even remember some of the stuff from when she was so small. So there's some good Maud nuggets there that she shares for those of you out there who are Maud, Oklahoma fans.
I have had people from Germany, I think, come to the wanda-jackson Day.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
So, I put Maud on the map.
Yeah, there you go. Well, here's another question. This one's from Natalie in Atlanta, Georgia, and she says, "What song by another artist do you wish that you'd written?"
Oh, Tennessee Waltz.
Tennessee Waltz. If you'd written Tennessee Waltz, then we'd be sitting in a tub of diamonds right now.
Yeah, probably.
Tennessee Waltz, that's a great song, written by...
now I've got a tablespoon of diamonds.
You don't have Tennessee Waltz diamonds, but...
No.
That's great. I think Pee Wee King was the writer of Tennessee Waltz, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
A classic.
Yeah, those songs, like Hank Williams songs. I loved You Win Again.
Oh yeah,
Like
another
to
great
have
one.
written that.
Yeah, yeah.
I did write one for a celebrity. I tell about it in the book,
That's right.
and that was Buck Owens.
Yep. Top 10 country hit, Kicking Our Hearts Around.
Yeah.
Very proud accomplishment. That's Buck Owens
Yeah.
was a great writer himself. So when a great writer records one of the songs, it really means something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wrote it with him in mind.
Yeah,
So that was a big thrill.
yeah, that's very cool. And Wanda tells about that in the book, about how she wound up writing that song, thinking of Buck Owens. She's got a great story about hearing it on the radio for the first time when she was home one day, and not to mention not just Buck Owens, but Hank Thompson and Tommy Collins and Roy Clark and Norma Jean and Porter Wagner. There's all kinds of legends from the world of classic country music and rockabilly. Of course, a fellow named Elvis we'll talk about in a little bit. So many great stories in the book that you shared with us. Well, while you're still signing there, I know the answer to this next question, and it's a good one.
Oh,
Do you still have Elvis's ring?
of course. But I can thank my mother for that, because she said she knew that it was kind of a little treasure
Yeah.
to have that. So Daddy kept wanting to wear it.
Yeah.
So she hid it away and gave him another ring.
Right.
That,
Did
so-
she tell him it was Elvis's?
Yeah,
Oh.
she did. So he
You never told me that story. That's great.
But she had it tucked away from me, and I'm so glad.
Yeah, yeah. And so, for anyone who doesn't know, and I can't imagine they don't know if they know you and they know this book, but how did you come to have Elvis's ring in the first place?
He gave it to me. I didn't steal it. Yeah, at one of our shows, he asked if I'd go outside with him, which I did,
Right.
and he asked me to be his girl. And I said I would. So he took the ring off his hand or pocket or something.
Yeah.
And he said, then here, wear this around your neck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Not a lot of people get to say they wore Elvis's ring. That's
There was a song written about it.
Yeah?
I
What was it
haven't
really?
recorded it yet. but
Oh, well,
it was
hey,
cute.
maybe that's one we'll hear on an upcoming album.
Could be.
All right. Well, while we're signing some more books, let's look at some of the other comments. Todd from Mokina, Illinois says, "Hi Wanda, love you. Who were your early musical influences?"
Hank Williams and Hank Thompson.
The dual Hanks.
And for the women, it was Rose Maddox.
Yeah.
So she was feisty on stage and dressed flashy, and
Yeah.
I said, that's when I decided I wanted to be a girl singer.
Couldn't be much any other kind of singer.
No,
could
I
you?
couldn't. I was young. I thought, well, maybe I have a chance.
Right. Well, Rose Maddox, of course, sang with her family band, the Maddox Brothers and Rose, and they were very popular out on the West Coast when you were a girl growing up, and you spent time in Los Angeles and some time outside of Bakersfield when you were a young girl. And boy, if you lived in that area back in that time, it didn't get much bigger than the Maddox Brothers and Rose. They were
No.
very influential.
They truly were.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to meet her
Did you?
a while before she passed.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
glad that I
Yeah,
got to see her.
she's a real pioneer for sure. All right, we've got a question from Mark in Beverly, Massachusetts. And Mark asks this: what is your favorite guitar to play?
Well, it has to be a Martin.
Yeah?
Well, let's see, no. Take that back. The guitar I really love is the Fender Kingman, I think.
Okay, that acoustic. Yeah,
But it had the rod through the neck.
right?
That thing's old as the hills, and that neck is still just as straight.
Yeah, and the metal rod ran all the way down through the middle of the body, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was was
You
great.
could use it as a weapon if you had to, a big old heavy rod in there. Somebody gets a little too wild in the honky-tonk, you might have to...
Yeah, use it for a bat. Yeah,
That's
and
great.
of course, another favorite of mine is hanging in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Martin, the original Martin.
D18.
Yeah, which that's the one right here on the cover of the book, right?
Yes,
Isn't
it
that
is.
the...
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at it.
That guitar now hangs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You've got another guitar right here in Nashville, where we're broadcasting from today, that's in the Country Music Hall of Fame, the one I think that you had after this guitar. So the legendary Wanda guitars are out there and available for people to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh, and Daisy Rock.
Daisy Rock more recently,
Yeah.
you've played them and
Kind of. I like that one because it's for girls.
yeah,
But there was just one little thing I didn't care about. But anyway, I we tell the folks, you know, it's a pink guitar.
right,
And it's a little bit shorter. It's not much, maybe
Right.
a couple of inches
yeah,
than the regular. But it's a little smaller, very light,
right.
and it was cut down in just the right spot.
Make it easy to play.
Yeah, I said, Dolly Parton is going to love this.
That's great. Let's see. While you're signing that one, we've got another comment here. This one is from Karen, and Karen writes in from Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. And Karen's question is, did you perform in Arkansas with Sonny Burgess?
I may have.
I was going to say, you performed with everybody everywhere. It might
Yeah.
be hard to pinpoint that
I
one.
knew Sonny,
Yeah,
so I guess that I had.
probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, one of the things that's so interesting to me about your book is you talk about Elvis Presley, you talk about Johnny Cash, you talk about Buddy Holly, you talk about Carl Perkins, all these sort of rock and roll legends, but all the country people, you know, Red Sovine, Webb Pierce, Norma Jean, who was your best friend, you know, all of these country luminaries that you played with, you really played with, you worked with everybody at some point.
Everybody who was anybody in
Yeah.
the 50s and
Yeah.
60s.
Yeah, you worked with them all the way up to today. You're still working with, you know, Elvis Costello or Joan Jett or Jack White. I mean, you've worked with all generations. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's been a really neat thing
Yeah.
about my career. Is
Yeah.
that I can do the country side of me on a show or the rockabilly.
Yeah,
But what I do now is I combine them.
yeah.
Do a country song and then a couple of rock.
Yeah.
And one more.
And
kinda back
gospel songs as well. I mean, you really cover the whole gamut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think I told you about trying to do that. Was it Calypso or?
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to do that thing, but Ken Nelson, my producer, he thought I should. So
Right.
this is a big rage right now.
Right.
And it was. So, so anyway,
Made a Calypso record.
what?
So you made a Calypso record.
Yeah, I did. And the day that Capitol Records released that, Calypso died. I mean, maybe I buried it. I don't know.
I hope you didn't kill it.
But boy, I just did not like that.
That is so funny. Yeah, I think that was a song written by the great Boudleaux Bryant, of Felice and Boudleaux Bryant, great legendary songwriting team. I guess proof that even the greatest songwriting teams maybe have an off day every now and then.
I like to think so.
We've got one here from San Francisco. This is Michael Angelo. He says, Wanda, I live in San Francisco. Wondering if you have any favorite memories of the city of San Francisco while touring or visiting there, or any favorite places in the city.
I remember going to a ball game
Oh, yeah?
there. And I was freezing to death but I got a sunburn on my face.
That'll happen in San Francisco.
Right.
It's always cold, no matter what time of year.
It sure seems like it.
Yeah.
And I used to work a club that's so nice. It was a nice club, and called Bimbos. And we drew great crowds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was like from the 40s or something.
Wow.
And they hadn't done a lot to it. I mean, they'd kept it up.
Yeah, still kind of had the same
little
vibe.
round tables with a little light on it.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's, you were telling me the other day, talking about you've traveled all over the world, you've seen all these cities, but you've seen more hotel rooms than you have because you're working. You know, you go into a town, you play a show, and then you go to the next town, and you don't have a lot of chance to sightsee.
Right. No, I had to give that up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I would be out all day talking and seeing something, and I couldn't sing that
Couldn't
nice.
sing, get hoarse, yeah.
So I have to protect my voice a little more these days.
Yeah. So we've got another question here. This is from Greg in Hudson, Wisconsin. And Greg says, was Hank Thompson an integral part of leaving Oklahoma? I think what he means by that question was Hank Thompson an integral part of your career?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, my goodness, he's my mentor.
Yeah.
My very favorite singer of all time. But he also we also became friends.
Yeah.
And he was just wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
When I would work with him, he had me on his television show in Oklahoma City. And one time I don't know, I just forgot my words. And so we got through that. And then I apologized. He said, oh, no, don't worry.
All right.
And the next week, I did it again. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Right.
And finally, he kept giving me chances.
Right, yeah.
So I made it through one.
Right.
And he caught me. I didn't forget my words.
Right.
And he came over, and on camera, he says, show the people why. And I'd written all my key things all over my...
You had your little cheat sheet right there. That's awesome. Yeah, he was obviously somebody that played a big part in your early years, got you your first record deal, and let you get on the stage and everything. And was really an important man in your life.
Yeah. He also got me on Capitol.
Yeah, 2 record deals.
Yeah, he made that happen.
Yeah, very cool.
So we were friends.
Yeah. So let's see, looking at some of the other comments that we got here. Coming from Cranford, New Jersey, we have a comment from Howard, and we kind of touched on the fact that you've worked in all these different eras and genres, but Howard says, what do you think contributes to your longevity as an artist? How is it that you've been able to keep doing it for all these decades?
Good health.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Just your what has contributed to your ability to keep going like the Energizer Bunny all these years.
Well, it's the music.
Yeah.
It truly is. And I've, as we tell people in the book, I love to sing.
Yeah.
And I love to sing to people.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest drive.
Yeah.
But I chose that for my career, for my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't ever see any point in quitting.
Yeah. Well,
I was
and
having
think
too much fun.
I think it's evident to people, that people have sort of their favorite place where they feel most comfortable. And for some people, that's maybe on the couch in their pajamas, or maybe it's at the head of a boardroom table. But your place is kind of the stage. I mean, that's where where you really are at home, is on a stage.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's why the audiences respond so well to it. They see that you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays I get to do more reminiscing,
Right.
with the audience, and
Yeah.
I get to kid with them, and
Yeah.
or I always did that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's a question that somebody asked. They said, and you probably have a lot of answers for this, but they said, this is Curtis from Indiana. He says, what current singer would you most like to record a duet with?
Ronnie Dunn.
Ronnie Dunn. I didn't see that one coming. Why Ronnie Dunn? What is it about him that...
His voice is so unique,
yeah.
and he's very talented.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, he writes wonderful.
Yeah.
So, you couldn't go wrong
Right.
with that.
That's a good answer. Well, Ronnie Dunn, if you're watching this live stream
He's
right
an
now...
Okie, too.
Oh, he is an Okie. That's right. Well, we gotta get Ronnie Dunn and you together for sure.
Okay, make it happen.
We'll get to work on that. All right. Well, let me scroll through some of these while you're signing some more books there.
Other words, get the signing, Wanda.
Chop chop. All these fans, all these books. I mean, we're never gonna get through all these books.
We will.
So
Oh,
let's
ye of
see.
little faith.
We'll do it. We'll conquer it together.
Okay.
Let's see. This is from Denton in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is an interesting question. He says, Wanda, did you ever perform at any drive-in theaters as an extra attraction before the movies? I know some performers that have.
Yeah, I remember those days, but yeah, it seems like I've worked one like that, but it was on top of the concession stand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your popcorn, see Wanda-Jackson, and go watch the movie.
I don't remember distinctly.
Right.
I probably did.
That's funny. Let's see.
I worked in a woman's backyard once on a flatbed truck,
Yeah.
and the people, she didn't have any chairs for anybody.
Right.
This was back when people sat down,
Right.
to see a concert. And so she just had it out there in her back, and all of the cars were there.
Yeah.
And when I get through with a song, honk, honk, that was the...
That's the applause. That's great. That's great.
And
Very
Billy
cool.
Walker had been on the stage right before me.
Yeah.
And they had the mic wired onto I guess a stick or something. And Billy Walker was about, 5 foot or 6 foot.
Yeah, big old guy.
Big guy. I got out there and I couldn't reach the mic.
Right.
Back when I played guitar,
Yeah,
I had to have the mic here.
Right. And to get you a box to stand on or something.
Something like that, yeah.
That's funny. All right. So if there's anyone who's just joining us, we are here doing this live signing. We're here to talk about Wanda's new book, Every Night is Saturday Night. We're here to answer some fan questions, as we've been doing, and get to know a little bit more about Wanda and her book and what all of this great stuff is about. We thank you to everyone who has already ordered one of these books. If you have not yet, you still can do that at wanda-jackson.com. And of course, when you order a book there, it will be a signed copy of the book, so it's a special bonus that you can't get just anywhere. So this is kind of our virtual book signing today and our opportunity for Wanda to virtually interact with you guys as fans. We've got a question from Catherine in Norfolk, Virginia. She says, Wanda, is there a song that you really love that you would like to record, maybe one you haven't done yet?
Oh, let's see.
You've recorded them all by now.
Yeah, I've got all my favorites recorded already. I'll be thinking on that.
Yeah. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
As many albums as you've done, there's not a lot of songs you haven't recorded at this point.
Right. It's a pretty good body of work.
But you've actually been writing some songs recently, I understand.
Yeah. My little granddaughter, Jordan, is acting as my manager and social media.
Yeah.
And she does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
but she cracks the whip. She's wearing me out, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Well, she's doing a fine job because she's got you doing all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, so she's sort of the one that encouraged you to get it back into songwriting a little bit, huh?
And I said, well, it's so different these days. There's nearly always 3 names, or 2 or 3, under every song.
Yeah,
And I said, I've always written by myself.
right.
And I can't write the way they're performing today. I
Right.
don't understand that. So
Right.
she said, well, I'm going to set you up some people to write with.
Yeah.
But you don't really have to write, she said. You can just watch and see how they do it.
Get a feel for it. And
Yeah.
Go to co-writer school.
Yeah. But then almost we just started talking as
Yeah.
girls will, and everything I would say, they'd say, there's a title.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There, let's write that one.
Yeah.
And we did. And
Yeah.
so those songs are, when I get them recorded, they're going to be about my situations.
Yeah. Your life. Yeah. So I think that's the answer to that question. Is there a song that you haven't recorded? There's a whole batch of them that you've written that you're preparing to record. So
Yeah, that's right.
everybody will want to watch for those in a little while. Let's see. We're going to answer one more question from somebody who's written in. Then we're going to do another little fun thing where I'm going to ask you a bunch of rapid fire questions.
Oh,
So let's see. Let's pick a good one here to ask. This is a good one. Which of your songs is your favorite to sing?
right or wrong.
Didn't have to think about that one for very long.
No. Yeah, even though I wrote it, it's just, I just like the song.
Yeah. That was your biggest, it was a top 10 country single. It was also a pop charter. I mean, that was one of your very biggest successes, and I think in recent years, some people think Wanda-Jackson equals rockabilly, and that's not a rockabilly song. That's a beautiful ballad. And I understand you mentioned you wrote it, but I think you wrote it with someone else in mind.
Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't you.
Oh, shucks. Maybe you'll write one for me one day.
Well, I was just giving up on ever meeting somebody that
Yeah.
I might want to marry
Right?
because I was working so much and night after night.
Yeah.
So,
And this, by the way, you told me you were thinking, well, you're never going to get married, and you were, what, 23 years old?
Yeah.
You were really young.
I was about to give up. Excuse me.
No worries.
Lost my train of thought
Well,
again.
you're talking about why you wrote Right or Wrong, thinking
Oh,
you
yeah.
might never find anybody.
Yeah. I just knew that if I met the right person,
Yeah.
fell in love, not just love them, but fall in love with
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
that this is the way it was going to be, right
Yeah.
or wrong.
yeah.
And it's like Wendell and I through the years. We've always been together and on everything. And we never once discussed or talked about divorce.
Yeah.
Murder a couple of times.
Murder maybe, divorce no. Yeah. So that's kind of become your special song for Wendell.
Yeah, because that's who it was written about.
Right,
Even
right.
though I hadn't met him.
Yeah, the idea.
Yeah.
And you originally thought maybe you were going to pitch that song to another artist.
Yeah, it was Brenda Lee
Yeah,
I had in mind.
yeah.
And when I did it for Ken Nelson, my producer, he said, "No, you're not sending that one to anybody.
Keeping
You're
that one
doing
for
it."
yourself. Well, I could hear Brenda Lee singing that song, but I'm sure glad Ken made the call and we got to hear you sing it
Yeah.
instead, because that's one of your great records.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a little thing here. This is called 22 questions in 2 minutes. Now, I don't think I could even ask 22 questions in 2 minutes, so we might have to go a little bit more than 2 minutes. But these are kind of just some off the top of your head, just sort of fun things. So we'll go through these, and if you don't have an answer, you can say skip, and we'll go to the next one.
Okay.
So first one is, who inspires you most?
Hank Thompson.
Who would you like to trade places with if you could?
Nobody.
Good answer. Who makes you laugh the most?
Wendell did. Our
Yeah.
marriage was full of laughter.
Yeah, he was a real jokester.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Always had a corny one-liner at the ready.
Oh, yeah. You could mention any topic and he could tell you a joke.
Right. If there was a movie made about your life, who would you want to play you? We'll say any actress, living or dead, anytime.
Well, probably they'd have to have several Wandas.
Right, all the different years, right?
All that, but to play the 50s part of it, I think Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. Interesting.
I mean, she's feisty.
She is feisty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Miley probably owes a debt to women like you who came before that said it was okay to be feisty.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, we'll see. There we
She
go.
took it a little far, but...
Well, you know, I guess you took it to one level, she
Yeah.
takes it as an action.
Then
That's how it works, I guess. So if Ronnie Dunn is out there watching today, then he's got to have to do a duet with you. And if Miley is watching, she's going to need to play you in a movie. So we got to make sure these people know this stuff.
That's right.
All right. So what is your guilty pleasure?
A martini.
Oh, a martini. Ooh, I won't tell. Mine's ice
Tell it,
cream,
yeah.
but I think that's pretty obvious.
Yours is what?
Ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
So what is one thing, let's see, what one thing do you need to have in your refrigerator at all times?
Milk.
Good answer. I feel like we're on, what's that show, Family Feud?
Yeah, that's what...
Maybe there'll be a prize if we do all these. Okay, so do you have any hidden talents? We all know that you're a singer and a musician and a songwriter. Do you have any hidden talents we don't know about?
No, I don't think so.
Can't juggle or swallow swords or jump through flaming hoops or anything like that?
No, I haven't done that lately.
Yeah, well, I think you've got plenty
Yeah,
of non-hidden talents, so you don't need any hidden
All
ones.
my work and everything has... I've never even planted a flower, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
And so many things I didn't do because of my work.
Yeah, you're focused on your career.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we've already well exceeded 2 minutes, but I'm going to keep going on these. What is your dream car?
Oh, the car I'm driving, Wendell got me a Cadillac the year that I was inducted into the
Into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, wow. So you got a Cadillac out of that deal, huh?
Yeah, I did, right.
Ooh, nice.
Red and pretty.
Yeah.
So a dream car would be a chauffeur-driven car.
You've got the car, you're just looking for the chauffeur
Just
now.
need the chauffeur, yeah.
Okay, so who is the last person that you talked to on the phone?
Jordan.
Jordan, your granddaughter, who you mentioned earlier, and also your manager. Yes. That's a good one. Good person to be in contact with is your manager and your granddaughter.
Yeah, you bet. She's a doll.
What is your favorite pastime?
Watching TV or reading.
Yeah. Let's see. What is your biggest fear?
Water.
Water. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not a swimmer, huh?
No.
Yeah.
But everybody's tried.
They've all tried and all
to
failed.
teach me, yeah.
All right. Well, you stay out of that water then. What item would you love to get your hands on if it went up for auction?
Oh, something personal, maybe, of Marilyn Monroe's.
Yeah. And you talk in the book about how Marilyn was kind of a fashion inspiration for you.
Yeah.
You know, is you brought that glamour to country music and early rock and roll that hadn't really happened before, and that you sort of were inspired by Marilyn. I remember you talked about. Yeah, that's interesting. So, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, I've got a list that long. I don't know. Rude people.
Rude people. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Oh, that's old school. I like it. Let's see. What is the last album that you purchased by another artist?
Oh, goodness, I don't know. They're given to me.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, the Queen doesn't have to buy albums. The Queen gets albums for free.
yeah, usually.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear any music, any new music recently that you particularly liked, or even maybe some old music that you kind of rediscovered?
Yeah, I play the older things, like
Yeah.
when I'm dressing
Yeah, yeah,
and back in my area.
yeah, yeah. From the heyday.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the last movie that you saw in a movie theater?
My. Jordan, help.
Or even a movie you saw at home?
Yeah, I watch a lot of movies.
How about this? What's your favorite movie?
Oh, there's so many good ones. An old one of Elizabeth Taylor
Mm-hmm.
and Van Johnson.
Yep.
The Last Time I Saw Paris.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
That's going back. Good one. Let's see. Here's one that the world all wants to know. What color is your toothbrush?
I think it's orange and white.
I saw that question. I thought, I have no idea what color my toothbrush is, but there you go, orange and white.
One of those questions like that is, without looking, what color is the face of your watch?
Oh,
Is it black or is it white?
Right, yeah. Something you look at all the time.
All
but-
the time,
yeah.
but you don't see it.
That's funny. What is the last book you read?
I'm almost through with James Patterson's 15th Affair.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're an avid reader. You've told me that you read a lot.
Well, I do because I travel a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And now you're an author.
Hey, yeah, I am, aren't I?
So there's plenty of people out there that say the last book they read was Every Night is Saturday Night. Okay, let's see. What is your middle name?
Levon.
And that's what your family called you for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, I went by Levon when we lived in California.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we came back, I have no idea why, but I wanted to go by Wanda.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when we changed
That's
it.
when Levon became Wanda. So this is a good question. What cause is dear to your heart? Is there a particular charity or a particular humanitarian effort or ministry or something that means a lot to you?
Yeah, well, St. Jude's.
Oh, the Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital.
Yeah,
I know we contribute to them.
yeah, yeah,
So.
yeah. They're in the
And the Heart Foundation.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very good. Let's see. What is the last gift that you either gave or received? That's a tough question to ask this close to Christmas because we haven't started giving yet, and it's been so long since the last one.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to answer that question for you. The latest gift that you have given is you have given the gift of your memoir.
Oh.
And I bet a lot of people are going to be given that as gifts this Christmas.
Well, I hope so.
And so all those people out there who are watching this right now can go to wanda-jacksonbook.com, get an autographed copy to give to their best friend, their mother, their child, their neighbor, whoever. It's a great book. It's a great story. And so I think that, I will say I give it my endorsement for people should give this as a gift. They should give two of them as a gift, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I have a lot of comments on our title.
Yeah?
Yeah. And we thought that one up, right?
Yeah, well, I got to say, you thought that one up. First time we got together, you said, I have an idea for the name of my book, Every Night is Saturday Night.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that's a
And
great title.
You selected about 80 photos.
Yeah, we sat down at your dining room table and went through all those scrapbooks and personal photos. And, for those who haven't seen it yet, there's an insert here in the book where we've got page after page. I think there's 80-something of these pictures, like you said, and it's all different eras of your life and color photos and some of the dresses that you designed and made. And anyway, I won't give away too much. People can buy the book to look at those pictures. But
I will say, most people have 2 pages of pictures.
photos, yeah.
But you pulled out all the stops.
Well, we put a lot of pictures. There's a picture at the start of every chapter. There's a photo insert in the middle.
That amazed me that you made each chapter a title of one of my songs.
Yes.
That I recorded and put a picture.
Yes, picture and a song title. Absolutely.
That was great. You've done a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. I had a wonderful person to work with who made it real easy to share her story. So it's, well, if there's anybody out there that's counting, they're going to be really upset that we've only asked 21 of these 22 questions. So the 22nd question right here is, and I don't know if there's anywhere you haven't been, but the question is, where do you want to go that you've never been?
Oh, probably one of the tropical islands. I've been to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
A couple of different.
Down in the Caribbean or something?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, maybe some promoter will book you for a show down there. You get a little free vacation.
I got to go to one of those islands, the last little island in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And so I did the rehearsal that afternoon with the band.
Right.
Everything was fine. That night, I walked on stage, I could hardly talk. And I couldn't sing.
Yeah.
I croaked around a little bit to show people I can't do it.
Wow.
That made me so mad because it's a long trip.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. Wow, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, let's sign a couple more books. We've got about 10 minutes left, and if there's folks that are just joining us on Facebook, we are talking about Wanda Jackson's brand new book, Every Night is Saturday Night, and Wanda is answering some questions and signing some books, and books, of course, are available on wanda-jacksonbook.com. You can pick up your very own copy, or 5 or 10 or 15 copies if you want to, and those will all be
They'll
signed.
probably charge you for it, though.
Yeah, they might charge you for it. But it's a steal at any price because you got a great story. So Wanda's signing books, and those signed books will be available again at wanda-jacksonbook.com. While you're doing that, Wanda, I'm going to ask, we've got just a few minutes left here, I'm going to ask you some more questions from folks that wrote in. These are people who have already bought the book. Some of these questions have already been asked by other people, and you've answered them. Let's see. Here's a comment. This is Dale in Omaha, Nebraska. Can you come back to Omaha to play a show, please? I missed your performance last time, so they want to see you in Omaha. We'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah. Somebody asked who was your favorite country singer. You pretty much told us that answer, Hank Thompson, earlier.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. This is from somebody called Cowboy in Austin, Texas. I'm guessing that's not the name his mama gave him, but the question is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received about a music career?
About music?
Yeah, just maybe a pointer or something that somebody told you along the way that stuck with you.
Most of it is things that I've just picked up and incorporated. So it's hard to separate what...
Hard to pick one nugget.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, I've had artists that gave me personal, advice.
Yeah. Well, what's something that stands out? You think of anything maybe that Hank Thompson told you, or something that you kind of carried with you?
Well, Ray Price, we were doing a show in California. Oh, wait. It wasn't, but anyway, whatever, California or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was talking about that I never got to meet anybody. I couldn't date anybody. I wasn't at home. But he knew that I worked nightclubs,
right.
And he said, well, Wanda, when you're ready to find a husband, you'll find one in church a lot better than in one of these places.
That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah. And then Webb Pierce one time said something to the effect, you don't have to be real smart, like business and
right.
You just surround yourself with smart people.
There you go. Yeah. Well, speaking of church, Steve from Spring, Tennessee, he asks, what role has your faith played in your rock and roll career?
Well, I was very shocked when the Lord led me in that direction. And my goodness, Wendell and I fasted and prayed, but that's what started opening up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was in Europe. So, I thought, goodness, the Lord doesn't want to use me in gospel music. But there was a reason, as is everything he does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you have a strong faith in God, and you're not somebody like you talk about in the book. You're not just trying to preach to the choir. You have an opportunity to share that love with people, whether you're in a church or a rock and roll club or wherever you happen to go.
well, after I started back, it was just, I knew I was in God's will.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like he was saying, you can sing wherever you want, whatever you want, as long as you honor me or praise me.
Right, right.
Please me.
Yeah. So you've tried to put God first and rock and roll second and enjoy both of them.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's a question from Sarah in Akron, Ohio. This question, this is a little risque. Was Elvis a good kisser?
That's the first thing I usually say. Women, I know what you want to ask. And I'd say, yes, he was a good kisser.
Right. Well, and as we wrap up here, we've got about 5 minutes left. But in the book, you talk about Elvis really encouraged you to do something in your career that you hadn't done before. Tell us briefly about that as we wrap up.
Okay. He started talking to me about doing the music that he's doing.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I love what you're doing, but I can't do it. I mean, I'm a girl, and I don't think they'd want a girl doing this kind of music.
Right.
And he said, well, you're wrong. And he said, it's the young people that are leading the way,
Right.
nowadays. Anyway, he explained all that, took me to his home, and played records,
Yeah.
and would sing for me, show
Yep.
me, get the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he made me promise that I would try.
Yeah.
So I did, and I sure am glad I did.
Yeah, yeah. That definitely made a big difference in your career, singing, switching, and doing country and rock and roll at the same time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally came to that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's sign another couple books here while we're coming to a close, and I'm going to see there's so many people have sent messages to tell you how much you have meant to them and what an inspiration you are. So here's a question that comes from Facebook. This is from Stan Moreland. He mentions that you're known for your outfits with fringe. You've got on a little fringe right here today, as a matter of fact. So he asks, when did you start wearing fringe? Why did you adopt the fringe look?
Well, in the beginning, my clothes, when my mother started making them, it didn't, the first ones weren't like what I wore in the 60s,
Right, right.
late 50s even.
Right.
But I had fringe because the cowboy shirts would usually have fringe across the yoke,
Right,
yoke
right.
and
Yeah.
around. So I kept that for kind of a country flair. And then Mother said she came across something that I should really like, and it was the silk
Yeah.
fringe like this.
Yeah.
They weren't so heavy.
Yep.
And then we took the full skirt out of the picture and put
Yep.
tinsel skirt in.
Yeah. And you mentioned too in the book that fringe was handy because it didn't wrinkle up as
Right.
much.
That's right, it doesn't.
Yeah. You could travel and pull your dress out and nobody know if it's wrinkled or not because you got all the fringe.
Yeah, all the fringe. Yeah. I have to give it haircuts once in a while.
You gotta trim the fringe.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, let's see. While you sign another book there, let's see if there's any more we want to ask here. There's a lot of fans talking about having seen you. Michael in Birmingham, Alabama says he saw you in Birmingham recently. He loved the show. Hopes you'll come back soon.
That was the last show that I did, and the next day Wendell died.
Yeah. I remember that was earlier this year, and that was a shock for a lot of people. Of course, Wendell was your manager as well as your husband, so a lot of the fans through the years, really knew Wendell too. Yeah, and so I think you really pay a great tribute in the book to your love for Wendell and your commitment to each other, and a very special. I mean, you were together 24 hours a day for 56 years. A very special kind of commitment. Let's see. So many people writing in just saying that you are an inspiration to them, and they're such big fans, and they've seen you, and they hope you'll come back to their town. And we're gonna keep signing these books. We got a whole bunch. We had too much fun talking. We didn't get as many books signed as we thought. So we're gonna keep signing these books as we start wrapping it up here. And then all the folks who have already ordered a book and are watching, Wanda's going to be signing that book for you. And then if there's anybody who's come across this, you're watching the live signing and you have not ordered your book now, you can go to wanda-jacksonbook.com to order your own signed copy of the book. So I think we are getting close to the end of time here. And
This has been fun.
Yeah, this has been really fun. And thank you everybody for watching and for being a part of our virtual book event today.
Yeah,
this
this
has
is the
been
first
great.
time I've done this type of thing.
Yeah.
You did a very good job.
Well, you did a great job. I had fun talking to you today.
Great job keeping me in the moment. 'Cause
Yeah, I've got you signing all these books. It's easy to lose track, but it's always fun, Wanda, to talk with you and hear your stories. So we thank everybody out there who was watching and was a part of this. And Wanda, we'll see y'all in your town real soon.
I hope so. Thanks for being here.